The stereotype of student running on 4 hours of sleep and a package of instant ramen is not cool and damaging to student mental health. Okay. Please hear me out. I am an 18-year-old university student myself, and I have started to notice some patterns around me that really annoy me. One thing I absolutely hate is when people start to make competitions out of who has it worst. Who has the worst teacher? Who has to stay up the latest? You almost start to feel ashamed if you have a good teacher in a subject. And shame on you if you go to bed on time or wake up early. You are eating healthily as a student? Your study must be super easy. Lucky you. What those people don't realize is that actually, you don't want to have to study 16 hours a day non-stop for every day. Yes, many claim they do cause it's cool, but most don't actually. Maybe they do work until 2 a.m., but you are not going to wake up again the next morning at 6 to continue your studies. And if you do run on 4 hours of sleep, that is not cool and nothing to show off with. It is super unhealthy for you, physically and mentally. So please, stop it. Promoting the stereotype of college student running on 4 hours of sleep and instant ramen and making a competition out of it is harmful for many. Seriously, there are students all around the world who get mental breakdowns due to work overload. In some countries, I'm sorry for including a stereotype here, but I'm going to say mostly in Asian countries, students have so much pressure that they have increased rates of suicide and burnouts. In the Western world, making a competition out of who is the unhealthiest student staying up the latest is not good for anybody. Instead of doing so, people should be happy and thankful for not being the case. On another side note, I've noticed that 1. Many of those who complain about staying up till 4 a.m. sleep till 11 a.m. or later. 2. Many university students would have the money for healthier food if they spent less on alcohol. Thanks for hearing me out and good night. Looking forward to reading your comments in the morning. Edit. Okay, wow, this blew up. Anyway, I'll try going through the comments once I'm done preparing my classes. So bear with me if it might take some while. Also, I deleted the music thing because I looked into it again and found I had just seen one-sided studies before. Sorry guys. Just for the people saying I can't be doing a hard study, I go to a technical university and my study is considered as one of the harder ones next to aerospace and applied physics. Still, even if it wasn't, I don't think it would make my post any less valid. Many of my fellow students are doing what I described in the post. Still, with proper time management, the study is doable while maintaining a somewhat healthy lifestyle. On another note, I understand that there are some people whose situation may not allow them to live otherwise. However, I don't believe that that is a majority of university students, as some like to make it seem. Does anyone genuinely think it's cool though? Most people do it because they have to, not because they think it's cool. I pulled all-nighters often in school and worked a full-time job while being a double major. I didn't get a lot of sleep and I didn't eat well. I didn't do that because it was cool, I had to. Lots of students do. I'm guessing since you're 18, you're a freshman? And the people you hang out with are freshmen? That's probably why they turn everything into a weird I have it worse competition. I assure you by sophomore/junior year that behavior dies down. I'm a 22-year-old college student, and while I agree with you for some of us it's not an option, there's only 24 hours in a day, and I don't have the option to quit my job. Because I have to work, I oftentimes get stuck eating garbage food for the sake of convenience, or because I need to make my cash stretch out longer. I do drink, but I certainly don't drink enough to make a significant dent to my finances. Bills come first. So while I agree, the stereotype isn't helping matters, it's unfortunately just the way it is for some of us. Edit, this isn't bragging, this is reality. Not everyone has mommy and daddy paying for school, paying for their bills, or cooking for them every day. I'm not a freshman living in a dorm. There is something weird about the one-downing of competitive university life. Like whoever suffers the most is winning. It's not true. And if you pursue graduate studies, do not let this mentality take you over. A healthy, balanced lifestyle with financial responsibility and personal accountability is most definitely #winning. Best of luck in your academics. Stickle, rock music is just fine for studying. The Mozart effect was debunked ages ago. Anything upbeat, positive, and drowns out other noises will help with focus. I used to listen to a lot of alt and rock while studying. These days I lean more towards nonverbal beat-heavy stuff like Rat-a-tat or Gold Panda. During our orientation in med school, the assistant dean said that if you have more than 4 hours of sleep, you should rethink your choices in life and you should be ashamed of yourself, lol. What about 2 packs of instant ramen? You all should look into meal prep. It's what I do on a day-to-day basis, including when I was in college. Pick a day, cook all your meals for the week, and you're golden. I worked, went to school full-time, had military obligations, and still had the time to work out 5 to 6 days a week. Time management is key. Worked 3 jobs to put myself through undergrad. Can confirm this creates zombies of otherwise normal, functioning human beings. Trust me, the people who are saying they study 16 hours a day isn't doing productive studying. They are either procrastinating or doing really poor studying. You sound like you need some sleep and something to eat. May I suggest a package of instant noodles? I don't think it's cool, but I think hearing other people admit to it comforts me, because maybe I'm not as bad off as I thought / maybe other people I compare myself to aren't as perfect as I convince myself. It plays into something else that I'm seeing a lot of everywhere, not just in school. In my field I see it too. Everyone has it the absolute worst. Okay, sometimes I believe you may need to pull an all-nighter, but you don't need to often. On the weekends people choosing to party or do anything but your work, so Sunday night they are up till 2 in the morning to finish up what they could have done on Saturday afternoon. I've seen people in their 30s do this. Then when they are telling the story of how hard they are working to get by, right after talking about their epic weekend, I have zero sympathy. If you have it rough but you are making it work, don't be one of those people trying to garner sympathy. Keep your head down, keep kicking butt, show some stoicism in social situations, get help where it's needed from pros, and then have a great life where your hard work has paid off. I love competitive victimology. 90% of the time the lack of sleep comes from their own poor decisions, just saying. When I meet these kinds of people who compete for who has it worse, I usually avoid their game altogether by saying, yeah, you probably have it super bad, I'm super chill, wouldn't wanna be you, in a playful non-confrontational way. I am that stereotype, and I gotta say it's also damaging to my student mental health. If you are an 18-year-old university student, then listen to these words very carefully. Don't listen to any other students and don't make good friends just yet. Your class size will shrink by approximately half by the time you are done first year of university. There are many of you who are going to drop out or be forced to repeat the year for bad grades. Focus on yourself and make friends with those that you know are committed. My class started with 110 and we graduated with 27. With the exception of a few individuals, we don't talk to anyone that left the program regardless of the reasons they left. Something you learn as you get older is that you are mostly only friends with the people you go to high school and college with because your circumstances allowed that. You won't be forced to be in the same building with them after your studies, so most of you will drift apart. That's unfortunately the way of life. So hear this. Anyone complaining about studying as much as they do are probably not gonna be there. The ones that will already know it's a requirement, so they will be meek and probably not say anything. I agree, and I'm also convinced most of those issues are self-inflicted. Poor organization skills for workload, awful time management for study/leisure, terrible cooking skills and grocery choices. And of course, prioritizing the good life over the smart life. Partying ain't cheap, so what about readjusting the booze/food budget ratio? I never had to resort to shitty super cheap food, not even when I was studying abroad and had to juggle a tighter budget. Of course I didn't hit the town every weekend and all I got to drink was cheap ass beer from the supermarket, while my friends who indeed ate the cheapest, shittiest pasta, we're drinking more and more expensive stuff.